This is Elaine Dittmer. My grandmother, she lived through the 70s. Grandma, what would you say are some of the more popular TV shows that stemmed from the 70s?
Probably the most popular show that I remember was Saturday Night Live started, and it was really the crazy, wild and crazy guys with Chevy Chase and John Belushi and Jane Curtin. It was a really fun time. The other thing that I remember was All in the Family, Happy Days, a lot of great shows that are still around on rerun if you want to watch them. The 70s were a really big time. They were a time of experimentation, a lot of drugs, a lot of communes, a lot of hippies, flower power, people moving to California. In fact, later on in the 80s, when I was in human resources, I would interview people for jobs, and I would be looking at their resumes, and there would be this kind of gap. And the gap was often defined as, oh yes, that was the 70s. And that was when kids dropped out of college, went to live in a commune, or went to California. It was just a very exciting time, a very scary time. Part of it was driven by Vietnam, which you talked about with other people. The war was very unpopular, and so people felt obligated, young people felt obligated to reject conformity, to reject the ordinary things that were going on, because they were rejecting their government and they were rejecting the things the government did. And a lot of people believe that the country never recovered its sense of trust in government and in institutions, actually, because the war was so unpopular. I can't think of too much else about the 70s except that it was a time of experimentation. I was married with kids, so I wasn't experimenting all that much. But and the music was fantastic. The music of the 70s, again, that was an era when people mostly heard their music on the radio.